can teach anybody how to get clients, but if they don't have the hustle, you can teach anybody skill.
Yeah.
You can be like, this is how I do a highlight. This is how I tip out. This is how I tone. And then you can talk about color theory or whatever. You could be the most talented hairstylist in the entire world, but if you don't know how to get clients and actually spend the time, it's not I'm going to go into the salon and lead the salon and that's my job. No, it's for the first couple of years, it is constantly responding to Facebook posts and, like basically anybody who gives you a compliment on your hair, you hand them a card.
Yes.
Like you have to do it's a 24/7 job. And then when you get to that point where you have your books full, you can rely on your clients for references and then you can kind of chill out for a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think the people who are coming out in the beauty school world, they aren't taught that.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Beauty Bound. Today, I am very excited to have a special guest here. But like you all know, I'm Cristal Rubio. You can find me at Beauty Pro Bookkeeping on Instagram. And I am here with Amy. And I've been very excited to have her on. And I had been bugging her so much to be on. I know she's a busy woman, but she has so many awesome videos on Instagram. But, without further ado, I'll let her introduce herself.
Hi, I'm Amy Whitaker, and I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me. It was very exciting that you wanted me to be on your show. But yeah, I'm on Instagram, Hair by Amy W. I am on now TikTok. I was a little terrified of TikTok for a while, but I'm Hair by Amy W on that as well. Facebook, Hair by Amy by W. I keep it simple. But then I run my own studio, and it's called Trend Lab LLC.
And it's so cute. I swear, from the first time when I went in with Scott to do, some of the social media posting, like walking into your studio, it just feels so like, one, so relaxed. Two,
awesome.
The way that you have everything set up, to me, that was like awesome. It made me want to go back to do hair. Just for a tiny bit.
That's awesome. Just for the fact that it's like when I was decorating, like it sounds really lame, but I call my style comfy luxe.
Yes.
Just for the fact that it's like I want you to have that luxury experience, but I also want you to be comfortable.
Yeah.
Because sometimes when you have it like too fancy like it's too like sterile, like I just, people can't relax. And so that's awesome that you felt like relaxed.
Yeah, because it just feels, it's very welcoming. And it is very like high class, but very welcoming. And that was really cool. Awesome. And one of the things that I always like, that I love about going to your Instagram, you always post the funniest shit on there. And I'm just like, damn, where does she come up with all this, Because it's so funny. Like, it's always so funny, but you're also very educational. So tell us a little bit about that.
So, my whole deal is education. I love education. Funny enough, I have my degree in education.
No way.
Yeah.
That's
so
awesome.
I always wanted to be a hairstylist. And my parents were like, that's nice, honey. Why don't we go to college and we'll talk about it later.
Real.
Yes. And it took me forever to figure out what I exactly wanted to do as far as getting my degree. And, I've always, first and foremost, have considered myself an artist. So I wanted to do fine arts, but then I was like, how am I going to apply that?
Yeah.
So I decided to get an art education degree. And if you want to have a lot of fun getting a degree, art education is the way to go, just for the fact that they make you take all of the art classes.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, you get to do sculpture, you get to do, all these different things.
Yeah.
Ceramics.
I love ceramics.
Yeah, stuff that you might not have normally done. So that was super fun. But when I graduated, it was around 2008, and I was in Florida.
Yeah.
And that was when the economy was collapsing.
Oh, yeah.
So I started managing an Ulta down there.
Okay.
And it really just kind of reinvigorated my love for hair, beauty, everything, right? So that's when I was like, you know what? I've done what you wanted me to do. I'm going to do what I want to do.
Like, now it's my turn.
Yes. But do I regret getting my degree, I mean, there is kind of one of those things where I'm like, where would I have been if I didn't spend all those years? Because I mean, I'm telling you, like it took a little while.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know what I wanted to do. So it's like I always look at like my student loans. I'm like, I should have been a doctor for how long I've gone to school. you know? But then, you know, so when I wanted to get into hair, I wanted a little bit of a change up. So I decided to go to Chicago. Well, it was kind of like LA, New York, Chicago, but my mom had recently moved to Chicago. Okay. And I was like, perfect, bigger city, like more high fashion. And so that's where I ended up going to school. Okay. And, you know, of course, like when you start, you know, hairdressing, like I was a color specialist at the time. I went to Art and Science, it's a fantastic salon in Chicago. But, you know, Instagram wasn't around back then.
Word of mouth.
Yes. And it was really like, I remember if you didn't have any clients, they were like, what are you doing? Like, go take that stack of cards and put it all in the businesses, like speak to the owners, do everything you can. And it was definitely more like, how many people can you touch? And then maybe 1 out of 100, you know, would come to you, and then you would hope that they would like their service and then refer. So, and then I remember like Instagram did come out, and it was like, you know, grainy photo. You know, like there was nothing to do with business or like bringing people in. And so at that point, I had married my husband, and we moved to Denver. And so we started doing the whole you know, Instagram thing, but it was like, remember the mirrored pictures? Yes. And I was, you know, and you would just hashtag your city, hashtag hairstylist, and people would come. Yeah. And so we ended up, we moved all around, but once we left Denver, we ended up going to Madison, Wisconsin, and I found out that I was pregnant with twins. And I already I already had like a small infant already. So I had a toddler and 2 twins. And starting with the new city, I had to take a break. So by the time we had moved here, and I was just like, okay, you know, did the twins, you know, and the toddler, and then I did the COVID and everything. It's like now I can actually get back to work. Instagram had turned into such a completely different thing. And it was a little terrifying because I was like, I'm sorry. I have to do videos now and like be a cinematographer and like script and like do these like weird things. And so I was really nervous for a long time. And I had a client, Tara Matavi. She's I think it's Tara Matavi on Instagram, but she knows how to blow up. Like literally she has hundreds of thousands of followers. And she was just like, you just need to put something out there. Nobody cares. And the thing is that if it's cringe or if it's anything, you just scroll past it and like nobody's going to care. Yeah. And I had to chew on that for a couple months.
Because it's like you're putting yourself out there. And And what if you do blow up? And then what if it was really cringe? And I mean, it's there forever.
It's like, what if there's haters? What if there's that? And so I started something simple, like where it's like you tugged on the before hair and then like you flipped it and like you tugged on the like after and then like started getting a little bit more comfortable with that. I did like 1 million of those videos, but then I noticed that I wasn't getting people to stop their scroll, right? Like I was in like that 200, 300 range. Yeah. And I wanted something a little bit more. I wanted to build a little bit more. And I just realized like, hey, I think I'm pretty funny. Yeah. Let me try some, you know, funny things. And that's kind of where it started. And I started getting a lot more views.
And then you went viral. There was one video, right?
Yes.
There was one that I cannot remember right now which one it is, but there was one video that went viral.
Yes. So luckily, I've been very lucky where I've had several go viral since then. But the one that made the big splash was there was like an audio where it was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. And then basically the first number would drop off. So it'd be like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it would go all the way to 8. And then like at the very end, it just was 8. And it was a fun, you know, song. And a mom was, I saw the audio first where a mom was like, oh my gosh, like when summer happens or like when you go into school or something like that, it's like you start off with $123,000 and, you know, and then you like, it slowly like kind of builds down. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I should apply that to small business. Yeah. And so I think that's why it blew up so much because not only is that, painful for so many salon owners, but it's also relatable to so many. I started getting dog groomers on there and being like, oh my gosh, it's so relatable. And then, other business owners and things like that. And then, what's nice is it gave me a platform where I had a lot more. I think I had probably 2,000 followers in that, just in that video.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how it started. And of course, it turns into this weird pressure thing where you're like, oh my gosh,
how do I top that?
Right, exactly. But then I just kind of was like, okay, I'm going to be true to myself. And then it just kind of went from there.
Yeah. And it's been awesome because then even the one shot awards, right?
Yeah.
So when that happened and I saw that pop up, I was like, I remember I actually texted Scott and I was like, oh my gosh. Look at her doing her shit,
Yeah, it was the first year that I applied. I've seen it so many times, and I saw that there was a funny video category, and I was like, okay, let's try it, and I had a few viral videos at the time, and I submitted all 3. And then, funny enough, the OG, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 video was the one that got me in.
No way, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So how was your experience going through all of that? Because I started doing hair when I was in California, and I remember, the one shot awards, and always wanting to submit myself, but being too afraid of doing the hair because I loved Vivids. And so
I can see it with the purple.
Oh my gosh. Thank you. And that was always my thing, but I was always so afraid, and I never did it because I was always so afraid of that rejection,
Yeah.
But seeing all the people that I learned from and them doing all these things, I was like, man, I want to be there one day. Now I don't because again, I just don't do hair anymore. But seeing you do it and going through all this, how was that all that process? How was because obviously you submit, then they tell you whether you made it through or not, correct?
Yes. So you submit it and then you wait a really long time.
Dang.
And I was the same with you. One shot was part of it when I was still doing hair before the twins, and I don't think there was a funny video category.
No.
And I wasn't doing funny videos at the time, but I just didn't feel like I was good enough. But then, I've had people, basically say, you can't win the lottery if you don't play, right?
Exactly.
So it's just who's going to know that you submitted that? You don't even have to, you just submit it. And so basically when I waited so long, I kind of forgot about it.
Yeah.
And then they started coming out with the nominees. And so they nominate the top 100. And I remember opening up my Instagram and then seeing the top 100 pop up. And I quickly scrolled through the names and I didn't see it. And I was like, damn, that stinks. I thought I would have gotten it, but it's my first year. It's totally fine. And then I got an inbox message slightly after, and then I went through the names, and of course I just missed my name. So that was really exciting, and then I was just like, oh, perfect, they're gonna do it off of content, and then I'm just gonna go to the award and see how it is. But I didn't realize it was all about voting. So that kind of took the wind out of my sails a little bit, just for the fact that I don't have a huge following, and I was competing against these people who had hundreds and hundreds of thousands of followers. So you get to,
because you vote every day, daily, right?
No, it was actually kind of strange where it saves your vote. So you just click on it and then it doesn't go away. And then what's funny is that this year they didn't have a submit button. So I just all the phone calls, I was, calling all my families and friends and, my mom and my grandpa and, and they were just like, I hit the check mark, but did I do this right? I'm having to walk them through it. But yeah, so I really going into it, because they don't announce the top 50, 25, however many it is, until you actually get the award. So you don't know if you're going to be in the top 5, and then that's when they, it's almost like the Academy Awards, right? Where they're so-and-so and so-and-so, and the winner is. And I didn't even have a speech prepared just because I was just like,
Yeah.
I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah.
I am a winner just even being nominated, just being able to go. And since it was in Dallas, like I actually was able to go and drive up. And unfortunately, my husband wasn't able to come. So I just went by myself.
Yeah.
And it was so much fun.
Oh, my gosh. So were you there? Because it's a 3-day thing, right? It was Saturday.
4-day.
Oh, 4-day.
Yes.
Oh, my gosh. And then that Monday night was the awards?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how was that part? Because even until then, you still don't know if you made it or not, right?
Correct. So what's really cool is that if you are a nominee, they have a big party on the first day for you, and it's like invite only.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. So I was really excited, and then it
Like,
kind
do
of
you know who I am? I'm just kidding.
Well, I mean, I will say that this was such a great experience for me for the fact that a lot of times when Instagram, social media, you are in the comparison game, right? Like you're just like, oh, I have another 1,000 followers, but it's still only 7,000 followers. And this person has 170,000. And you kind of do that comparison of like, you're never good enough, right?
Yeah.
Like when you first start out, you have 100 followers and you're like, oh my gosh, it would be so amazing if I could get to 200 followers.
Yes.
And then you get to the 200 and it's like this constant, like the goalpost is moving, right? And so when I went to that first party, and it was the One Shot Awards. So there was a lot of people that I follow and look up to. And then of course I have no shame. So I went and I was just like, hi.
Yeah.
And it was the first time that somebody came up to me and they said, oh my gosh, are you Amy? And I said, yes. And they said, oh my gosh, I'm such a big fan of yours. And they asked to take a picture of me.
Was that so cool?
It was the coolest thing. And I was literally the whole time, turning behind me. I was like, are they talking to me? Like, is there another Amy? Am I imagining this?
Yeah.
And it actually happened throughout the entire event.
Oh my gosh.
But it kind of reminds you that, because you feel like sometimes you're speaking out into this empty void, and my followers, at least my audience who I try to talk to are hairstylists. It's not like actual clients, and I get clients from it, but it's more to hairstylists. And so when you get people who are a concentrated group of hairstylists who are on Instagram, it's really cool because you forget that 7,000 people, that's my following is around there.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people. And so it really kind of boosted me up a little bit and kept motivating me, because sometimes it's a little unmotivating because you're just like, okay, I got 2 followers from that. And and you spend a lot of work on it. And then, what's crazy is that some things that I'm like, this is going to go viral.
And then it doesn't.
It's like womp womp. And then the ones that I'm just like, oh, I'll just do this real quick and then I'll put it up, whatever. And then that's the one that goes viral.
It's always the things that you put the least effort into sometimes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So it really was a really positive experience just to be around, other creatives.
Yeah.
But then also to realize that's like, oh, I'm not speaking out into an empty void.
No, people know you. And I think that's the one cool thing. And I always say, when is it that you reach that moment? We had a waxer who is also very, her name is Bree Mesquite.
Okay.
And she's also, she has thousands of followers, right? And for me, it's like, when was that aha moment, like that, man, people actually know me, like I'm doing something for the community,
Yes.
Because I think prior to that, like even for you, you're saying, you're sitting there comparing yourself to all these other hairstylists who have tons of following, but then you show up to the awards and you're the person that they admire when you have somebody bigger that you admire, but then to them, you're that person.
Right.
Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, that was my aha moment, because, for a little bit, it's social media is a weird thing, right? And then when that first person recognized me, and then what's crazy is that I was just like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. And then I get this little boost in my step, and I'm like, oh my gosh, they recognize me, they think I'm a star. Funny enough, that person, and I still haven't figured out his name, but he actually went on stage to present one of the awards.
No way.
Yes, and I Of course, the whole time he made me feel like a freaking celebrity, and he's like the big deal.
Oh,
so
shit.
I cannot. I've been trying to search, and I actually recognized him, but I was just like,
and who is it?
Yeah, and he was and we talked a little bit, and he was an educator for Schwarzkopf, and so. It just, like those little things like that. I was just like, holy crap, a big deal actually recognizing. But I went through the whole weekend not realizing that he was the big deal, right?
Oh my gosh.
So it was that, like that
That's
whole,
awesome.
the whole time was an aha moment for me. And it's, social media is such a struggle sometimes. And rarely I think that a lot of people actually get that opportunity going somewhere where it's a concentration of your followers. Every once in a while I'll get like when I was at Lifetime, somebody recognized me and they were like, "Oh, I follow you. I want to make an appointment with you." But I've never had another like hairstylist be like, "Oh my gosh, can I take a picture with you?"
Because it's like I know for me one of the biggest people that I used to follow, or I still follow her. Oh my gosh, she used to be a Fulbright educator. She's no longer a Fulbright educator, and I completely just spaced on her name. She had the green pixie hair color. It was like a bright green.
Okay.
And I cannot remember her name right now.
Yeah.
But I remember meeting her for the first time. And she was so nice and so kind. And I'm over here fangirling over her,
Right.
Because it's like, man, like I follow you. I love learning from you. And Stylist.
There you go.
I'm like, I couldn't remember. Yeah. But I remember, like it was so awesome. And meeting people who are actually down to earth, because I've also met people who are not. And then you're like, oh, I should have just watched you online,
they always say, like, don't meet your heroes because, like, it can tarnish that, like, vision of them. But, I mean, I cannot think of a more humbler group.
That's awesome.
Than the people that I met. One of the people that I really wanted to meet was Color by Carlos.
Okay.
And he is an educator, and then he's also a person who does really funny videos.
Yeah.
And so I fangirled over him, and he was just the sweetest, nicest guy.
That's
like,
awesome.
gave me so many compliments. Told him that, like, one of my first videos was, like, totally ripping him off with his audio and everything. And I'm like, but now I do my original content, I promise. But it was, and he was he was like, oh my gosh, that's what it's meant for, but he was definitely a highlight. But I got to see Jade Beauty Co. I think that's what her name is. But she's hilarious. She's the one who did like all the like if Cinderella got
oh my gosh,
like a makeover, and then she's like talking shit about like Rapunzel or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of like, and then there was Abby Brookie, who was like super. I don't know if you know who this person is, but she has red hair, and she's always talking like this, and she's so
oh
positive.
My gosh, yes.
And she's like, oh my gosh, let's make you red. And I was just like, I wonder if that's her.
Really, is it?
Right? It is. It totally
no way.
Is. Yes. And so I came up to her, and I was just like, again, I have no shame, and I was just like, hi, I'm a big fan. And she's like, hi, you want to take a picture with me? I'm like, yes, thank you.
You're like, oh dang, wait, you really do talk this way.
Yeah. Hair by Mick. Just anybody and everybody. They were there, and it was just every single person that I talked to was just so kind. I didn't feel rushed, like talking to them. They wanted to actually engage in conversation. I didn't feel like a nobody.
That's awesome. That is so awesome. Man. Okay, so now obviously, and then coming back from that, you obviously come back with, I'm sure, more ideas, more things that you want 100%. To do. Because you've been here, how long have you been doing hair?
So I've been doing hair for about 15 years, and there was about a 3-4 year break in between.
Okay, with the kids and stuff.
Yes.
So, and you've been, because you're inside Sola.
Correct.
How long have you been there?
So I've been there for exactly 2 years. And so I just re-signed my lease
Congratulations.
there. And I love my studio. I do feel like I shopped around. It's the first time I've ever been in a studio.
Yeah.
So I wanted something that was spacious and was clean and you didn't hear through the walls.
Yeah.
And
you have a corner window.
Yes. And so I have so much natural light. And I mean, it's a little bit of an expense, but it's absolutely worth it. And
I always, and that's when we talk about expenses when it comes to the studios. I know that a lot of people, and especially a lot of hairstylists, we tend to look at that, the big expense, right?
Right.
But we don't think about, and I don't know if you've thought about this, like if you were to own a salon, that it wouldn't just be your rent expense, because it would be your utilities, it would be your, like obviously like internet, like, all your utilities, plus whatever triple net there is out there, so then it ends up being like $3,000-$4,000 a month of just overhead.
Yes. Well, and that actually, I was going through that process last year. I was looking for spaces to open up my bigger salon. I've been educating a lot of and mentoring a lot of stylists, and I've always wanted to expand that. It's been my dream for 20 years. And I ended up getting into a space that was close by. And then, I was going to basically by the time my rent was done, which would be now, I was planning on moving into it.
Okay.
And, you feel like you can be prepared and certain things, and you're not like, I've worked in so many salons, and and I've been owning my own studio, and okay, I'll have utilities and I'll have this, but like every corner that you turn, there's another expense.
Yes.
And I didn't realize that I had to pay for my own dumpster. Like just things like that, that you don't even, like all the stuff that you named. Like I think a lot of times people, when they go into a salon, they think of those things. But there's so much other things on the outside of that you don't even think. And then once you're in it, you're just like, okay, well, I guess I have to do that. And then that puts so much pressure on you to, make that money. And then I slowly started realizing, okay, is this my dream anymore? Is this, because this is been my dream for 20 years. Like I've been like this, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
And within those 20 years, I never stepped back and was like, wait. There's been a lot that's happened. Is this still my dream?
Yeah.
And that was a real hard struggle for me.
Okay.
And when I started, and of course, during this time that I was doing this, it was all when the tariffs were happening.
Yeah.
Everything was being very unstable as far as like product material, all that. And I kind of got into that point where the permits were kind of killing me, and basically they were going to take me almost into next year, and I was going to have to be paying not only the rent that I'm paying inside Sola, but then also for this large space that I would not be making money in.
Oh my gosh.
And so finally I was like, I'm going to cut my losses. I'm spending way less time with my kids. I'm having actually a hard time finding the right people to work for me, because I don't want to just fill the spaces. I want somebody to match my brand and be able to, kind of match our vibe, because that's huge, but then also be able to produce a certain look that I want being used to. And it's a struggle. So that was definitely a wake-up call for me.
Because even finding the right people, I feel like, I feel that a lot of girls who are out of beauty school, and I'm sorry if you're a brand out of beauty school and you do put the effort. I'm not talking to you, obviously. But there is a lot of girls out there who come out of beauty school and have that entitlement.
Yes.
And they don't have the work ethic. And then they sit there and they just expect you to just hand them the clients, hand them everything. And just because they're working for you, that you're supposed to do all the work and they're not supposed to do anything.
100%.
And it's so frustrating to go through that and to see that, because I know how hard I had to work to get my clientele. You've known how hard it's been to get clientele. And they just want to come out of school and just be like, oh, well, hand them over.
Yeah.
Like, that's not how it works.
It's really tough because, I'm very lucky that when I moved to all my different states and cities and all that kind of stuff, I was able to build a clientele. And it's like you kind of figure out what works and what doesn't. And each city is completely different than the next. And so I thought it would be awesome to bring in a younger stylist from school, because a lot of times, if there's a stylist that's been doing it for years and years, and my whole goal is that you learn my techniques so I can, give you clients as I raise my prices and things like that. It's not that I want a mini me or a clone. I just want them to be right. And I want them to be able to, satisfy the client that I've been working on for years,
Especially, let's say God forbid something happens to you and you're not able to come in that day, but you have clients.
Correct.
They know how, they should know how to do the hair exactly the way that you do it.
Yes. And then they can do their own thing too. Because I'm not a big Vivids fan, but if you want to do Vivids, absolutely go do Vivids. But I was really excited about it. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's going to be so good. And then I'm going to teach them how to get the clients. And it's you can teach anybody how to get clients, but if they don't have the hustle, you can teach anybody skill.
Yeah.
You can be like, this is how I do a highlight. This is how I tip out. This is how I tone. And then you can talk about color theory or whatever. You could be the most talented hairstylist in the entire world, but if you don't know how to get clients and actually spend the time, it's not I'm going to go into the salon and leave the salon and that's my job. No, it's for the first couple years, it is constantly responding to Facebook posts and, basically anybody who gives you a compliment on your hair, you hand them a card.
Yes.
You have to do it's a 24/7 job. And then when you get to that point where you have your books full, you can rely on your clients for references and then you can kind of chill out for a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think the people who are coming out in the beauty school world, they aren't taught that.
Yeah.
And, I remember, especially in Chicago, and I do have a little bit of a theory on San Antonio right now. In Chicago, basically, especially in the city, you're dead for your business if you're not an educational salon. If you're not educating and making sure that those people who are young stylists are advancing in their work, right? Because beauty school is about the basics. I always talk about this, about how, you're learning the basics and
to pass state board.
To pass state board. It is, you can literally, and trust me, because I've gotten the license in each state, that if you have to do a practical and you fail every single service, but then you pass on your sanitation, guess what? You still pass. So they're not interested. They could care less. The state could care less if you screw up somebody's hairstyle, right? If they want to make sure that there's no, there's infection control and, making sure that you're not using the same comb on, the other person.
But instead of them, and I feel like one of the biggest things that they should worry about too is chemical burns, the way that you apply a product. What is it how developer, what are you applying? Because
they really teach you how to apply it. They don't really go into the advanced kind of techniques on that. So what happens in Chicago or in bigger cities and things like that, when there are so many educational salons, they grow you up to be your baby stylist, but then they basically are you're not shit. You need to go get an education, an advanced education in these big salons if you actually want to make money.
Yeah.
And when we get into smaller cities, we still have the basic beauty school, but then it would be unfair for those instructors to be you don't know shit. You have to go find, a hair salon.
Yeah.
They will probably encourage you to get more advanced education, going on YouTube channels or buying a subscription or whatever. But since there isn't very many salons, they kind of build them up, right?
Yeah.
And you should build them up. But then they come out of school being I'm hot shit. I literally aced. I was the best hairstylist in that school. And it's yes, you were, but you were the best hairstylist at basics.
Yes.
And so a lot of times when I'm interviewing these young stylists, the work ethic isn't there, and then they're I don't need to learn anything. I know everything.
And that's where they're wrong. Bitch.
I've been doing this for years, and I don't know everything.
No.
I always say, if you know everything, it's time to retire.
Yeah.
Because it is a constantly evolving,
There's
just
so many new techniques.
so many new techniques. I'm sure there's a brand new technique that I don't know right now. And I just went to a million classes, during the One Shot Awards.
Yeah.
So it is absolutely essential that they need to know that just going to beauty school, that's not the work.
Yeah,
the work it was what happens afterwards.
Yeah.
And you can absolutely make money and like be a killer hairstylist, but you have to invest in yourself, not only with time, but like the money with classes.
Because I feel like if I was to even go behind the chair now, like I think I stopped doing hair in 2020, right after COVID. I stopped doing hair. I was like, I'm done.
Yes.
So
I can see why.
Yeah, I was like, I'm so done.
Yeah.
And I feel that if I was to go back to doing hair right now, I'd probably have to go back to assisting because I feel like there are so many new techniques.
100%.
And don't get me wrong, there's time I still do some time every once in a while if I'm craving that need to do hair.
Yeah.
I'll do like my daughter's hair. I have, 4 kids, but 2 of them are my girls. And so they like the vivids or they like the balayage, but I'm like, is balayage even a thing anymore? Because it is, but it's a different technique and there's different ways to apply it, correct?
Yeah, that's a great example just for the fact that when I took those 4 years off, I mean, not only did I know anything about Instagram, but, I learned balayage as far as like the proper technique of like actual balayage where it's like open air, you put the saran wrap on, and that's what I was doing. And that was all the rage. But then by the time I took my break and then came back, foilage was all the rage.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was just like, okay, I don't know. So I ended up, funny enough, taking a year subscription for the BTC classes.
Yeah.
Behind the chair, they have like a university.
Yes.
And so I ended up going on there and really kind of boning up on my techniques. And then, every client that would come in that I think would be a good one, I'd be like, this is a new technique. Do you mind if I try it on you? And then that's kind of how I, built up my skills.
Yeah.
And then when you are up to date, when you do go and you take classes, then it's just building blocks, right?
Yeah.
But then if you go from like just the basics to like the super advanced technique, it's such a big run that it's like, no, you have to
have to go in steps and start.
And you keep having to build yourself every year. Every year you have to learn new things.
Yeah. And because there is a lot of stylists who will not take education. And I think I maybe know of one salon here, and not even in San Antonio, I don't think. I think they're in Stone Oak, possibly. And I can't even remember the name of the salon. That when I first came to San Antonio, I remember I was like, man, but I was in that mindset, like, how do I even get started in a new state and a new city?
Yeah.
How do I build up again?
Yeah.
Because by this time I had already forgotten how to build up because I had already been doing hair for a while.
Right. And then that's like, it's almost like a muscle that you need to exercise. And you're just like, wait, how do I ride this bike again?
Yeah.
And then
it was word of mouth before, like I had my clientele already. And now I'm like,
now you have to hashtag and do weird videos. And then it's just like, is that even going to work?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, man, it took me a while to even, because I didn't know, and it was that one salon that I remember, and I was like, oh man, I don't even, and I even questioned myself. I'm like, I don't even think I'm good enough to go assist there, even though I had already been doing hair for so long, and I didn't even know what to do. So I went to Sola. Because I was like, okay, I'll figure it out. I'll build up my clientele again.
There is something about a freedom of like being able to do what you want and what you need. I do think that, and this is just my opinion, but I really do think that Sola salons and the studio salons are really more for people who are experienced.
Yeah.
And you had experience.
Yeah.
But because when you are so young and you're a baby stylist, it's really nice to have people around you that you can learn from, because the saying is like, you should never be the smartest person in the room. It's like you always want to be able to keep learning, and even you don't even have to take classes if you're in a salon. You can do that. But and then after you get those techniques and after you get a little bit of a clientele, it's like studio time, like decorate it the way you want and do that. But it is kind of isolating in there if you don't know how to build.
Yeah. So for you right now, you have an assistant, correct? And so this isn't your first assistant, right? Because you
Correct.
You had somebody else before.
So yeah, I've had.
I think I've met maybe like 2 or 3.
So I went through a couple, and then I found Celeste.
Okay.
And Celeste had, she came right out of school. She was a little bit older. She, but like not older, like as far as me older, but like, older than like what an average cosmetology student would be. And so I do think that helped with like having a little bit more life experience because she's actually lived a little bit of life. And so she was great. She assisted and she was a hard worker, and I would take her out to lunch and be like, this is what you need to do. This is how you need to do it to get clients. And so she started bringing in clients, and then so what I do is I do a test out. Yeah. So I have several techniques that they have to learn, and they're learning while they're assisting. That's awesome. And I encourage them to ask questions at any point in time. Yeah. And my clients actually love it too, because they're like, oh my gosh, I learned something too. But so they have to bring in models, and then and basically I will grade them on that. Yeah. And usually it's an average about 3 models per technique. Okay. And then she ended up testing out of all of her models. She graduated, and now she's a full-time stylist. That's awesome. So she uses my other chair. Yeah. She just recently has moved, so she is coming back like only part-time and doing longer days. Yeah. So she doesn't have to come in every single day. And then went through a couple different other assistants, one that lasted like a couple months and one that lasted like literally 2 weeks. And I was it is more work to have you here. And if you know anything about me, I will work with you no matter what. I find, talent in everybody. Yeah. And like, it was bonkers to me that I was actually having to let people go. It was... I was going home to my husband like upset. I was just like, I don't know how to get through to this person, and he's just like, you've been working on them for months and they aren't getting it. You just have to let them go. Yeah. And that's a big part of being a business owner, But then I was kind of losing faith a little bit that I was just like, oh my gosh, maybe I shouldn't have an assistant or apprentice. Like I should just focus on my own career. But then Diamond came in, and I, she was part of a whole bunch of interviews, and I just loved her, and she has been absolutely amazing. And she's currently testing out now while she's assisting.
That's awesome. Yeah. So what are your goals? Like obviously the salon thing right now is not it. Yeah. Right? Yeah. But as you're getting assistants and you're testing them out, is it for you to have less days in the salon, or is it to be able to still obviously run your studio like a salon? Because that's at the end of that's what it is. Yeah. You do have a bigger suite. You do have 2 chairs. Mm-hmm. So what is your goal?
So always, because it's Trend Lab, salon, and education. Mm-hmm. Like education is first and foremost. I love doing it. So I will always. That's kind of what drives me a little bit. Like I love educating my clients too. Yeah. And I think that's why I have such a big clientele, because like I actually tell them why this is happening instead of like, well,
just because I said so.
Right, exactly. So so the salon dream is not gone. It's just definitely going to be more delayed, because I really do want to spend a little bit more time with my kids. Yeah. And that takes me away further from my kids.
Big time.
Yeah. And so when they're older and they don't think I'm cool anymore and they don't want to hang out with me, then that's when I'll do it. Yeah. But always within that dream has been an educational salon. Okay. And so now, when I first started out like 20 years ago, like, the internet, it's so crazy for me to even say this, but like things weren't the way they are now. Yeah. And you can take online classes. Yeah. And so that is my goal right now, is to build an online educational platform.
That would be awesome.
So I actually, funny enough, yesterday met up with a website designer, and I'm currently kind of in the process of building. So I need to find a something that can hold all of my videos. Yeah. And I'm just going to be uploading.
I'm a Kajabi.
Oh, is that what,
I love Kajabi.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. That's a great
I have a code
thing
for you. I have a code for you.
Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah.
But basically, I just want to like upload videos and continuously upload videos of little things that are educational about technique. And so here's my plan. It might change, but basically I want to have like an a la carte plan where it's like you can scroll through the videos. If you really want to learn about like a money piece, then you can just buy that. If you feel like you're good with everything else, but you're struggling with this one particular thing, then you can go ahead and get that. The second one would be a membership. So it'd be a monthly subscription. You would get access to all the videos. And then the third membership would be you would get access to all my videos, but then you would also get online coaching.
Oh, that's awesome.
So in that way, that is going to be more for like how do I build my clientele? Because so many people right now, especially like online education, it is about technique and like how I do it. And like I said before, if you are a fantastic, fabulous, know everything hairstylist, but you don't know how to get clients in the door, then you're still dead in the water. So I'm hoping that will also be a really added value of like, okay, you have the techniques. Now how do we get the clients to put those techniques on?
That's awesome.
So right now, that's why how I got into TikTok, because I was a little scared of TikTok for the longest time, and but then I took a class over at the One Shot Awards, and the person who did the class was Sharon Simply .insane, and she has millions of followers on TikTok and hundreds of thousands of followers on Instagram. And she basically kind of laid out a plan of like, hey, you need to be on TikTok because it's a different vibe over there. And like she kind of laid out certain things. And so this past week, I have put up 4 videos. Every single one has gone completely viral.
That's
millions
awesome.
of views, hundreds of thousands of views.
Isn't that insane?
It's bonkers.
Like it just goes viral.
Absolutely bonkers. And but it's more educational instead of funny. I'll still do the funny stuff, but you know, I definitely want to do more education because nobody's going to buy you know memberships of like, okay, like she's funny, but what can she do? You know, and so. You know, I want to build that up just a little bit more before I start launching the website.
Because once you build that up, it'll be easier for you to connect them to, oh, well, here are my how-to videos. Or here's how, Oh my gosh.
So you give them like a little free education on the TikTok, but then if they want something a little bit more in-depth, they can, you know, head over to my website that is now currently being built.
That's awesome. Oh my gosh. And see, that's one thing I think as hairstylists, we never know how important having a website is.
Yes.
We never know that you should have a website, that you should have, you know, because we're so just into our booking system and we think our booking system is all we need.
Right.
But in reality, it's like you want to have people come into your website and know exactly what it is that you do, like a little bit of, you know, behind the scenes, like what is your story? How did you get here? You know? Because I think right now everybody uses either Gloss Genius or Square.
Yes.
I always say as a bookkeeper, I hate Gloss Genius, but as a stylist, I loved Gloss Genius.
Can I ask why you don't like it for the bookkeeping?
Because as for the bookkeeping part of it, I either have to constantly bug my my clients, which is you guys, to send me the reports.
Okay.
Or I need to be able to have your login so that I could personally log in and download that report so I'm not bugging you.
Okay.
It does not integrate with QuickBooks. It does not integrate with Xero at all.
Gotcha.
So it's not like the money's coming in, but it doesn't show me the breakdown of what was tips, what was your credit card fees, and then what was cash and what was, you know, it doesn't show me that breakdown. So I have to bring it, you know.
Get it from us,
Yeah. And Square, it integrates with everything. So then it shows me the breakdown, so I don't have to worry.
And that's the toughest part because, you know, I used Square a long time in Denver, and it was really easy. It was, you know, and then I didn't even realize because I would bring my stuff to the bookkeeper and then it was perfect. But with Gloss Genius, it definitely has a lot more style. So that I think that's why, you know,
and
hairstylists
like I said,
good.
So as a stylist, man, it's amazing. And especially all the new things that are coming in, because I have a lot of clients who do use Gloss Genius. So I just have their login and I just log in, you know. But all the new things that they're coming up with is really cool.
Yeah.
But I'm like, dude, when are you going to integrate it with a booking system? Like,
So I just got finished up with a paid partnership with Gloss Genius.
oh, that's awesome.
It was really fun. So you might see it like scroll up on your feed, for like ads and stuff. But what's crazy is that I never am the person who has connections, but I was talking to people in corporate. So I should just
please.
Yeah. Like
That
message
is like
them, be like, yo, like you need to figure this out.
Yeah. Because as a bookkeeper, like my whole thing is I love helping stylists grow their business and just having you guys have a clear picture of where your money's going, how much money you're making, how much money you should be saving, I love doing all that. But when it comes to like, if it wasn't because of that, that Gloss Genius does not integrate with anything that I use, I honestly would be recommending all my clients to use Gloss Genius.
Right.
But because of that, I push them towards Square.
Yeah.
So that's
I
my
get that.
own, but I still, regardless, I know I have my clients who are loyal to Gloss Genius and I understand why.
Yeah.
Because as a stylist, I was also loyal to Gloss.
Well, and it's so tough too, just for the fact that, moving different platforms and then like freaking having to get like all of the clients, back into that space. And then like, oh, it's such a freaking pain in the butt.
Yes.
So I'm definitely with Gloss Genius and, and unless something, fancier and like all that stuff comes up. But it's like, that's what's...
it's cost effective as well.
It is very cost effective.
Yeah.
But if it makes it less easy for you, that's something to think about. So it would be something that would be really smart for them.
That's, because I focus, my bookkeeping, I only focus on the beauty industry. And yes, I have other clients who are not beauty professionals, but it's, a handful. Everybody else is beauty industry because that's what I know. That's what I was behind the chair. So and like I said, Gloss Genius is amazing as a stylist, but just get your shit together.
Yes. No, I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
I'll just talk to my connections.
Please. Oh my gosh. So obviously we've talked about, the one-shot awards. Do you plan on applying again next year?
Yes.
What is the goal for that?
100%. I don't care if it's like the worst thing that I've ever done and that's the only thing that I have to apply for. But I will absolutely do every category that I can because that experience has been absolutely incredible. I mean, there was several people who were there that weren't, nominees. And, it's just... There's something about it where because Mary behind the chair, what's crazy is that, before Instagram, I was featured in their magazine when it was just a publication.
That's awesome.
And what's crazy to me is that I still have not been featured on their Instagram. I have been like, hey, behind the chair, it's me. Like I tag them in everything. What's funny is that like I do original content and they will post my recreators.
No way.
And then I'm just like, what?
Like, why aren't you posting me?
Yes, but I think there's just like millions and millions of people who are always tagging them. So it's like at one point I'll
eventually be there.
Yes, but just even being a part of that group because Mary has grown this huge, amazing, social media platform along with her publication. I don't even know if they do the magazine anymore, but it's just an amazing network of people and creatives, and everybody's very supportive. I've been to several different hair shows. Yeah. I used to be in the hair show circuit. I used to compete
That's awesome.
With Wella Trend Vision and things like that. And so I've been to several shows and what is the one that's coming up? Premiere, and then the International Beauty Show, all those things. And
I love the Long Beach.
Oh, I haven't been to that one.
Oh my gosh, you have to go to Long Beach.
But like nothing compares to the 4 days that I spent. It's a little pricey. Because you have to get a hotel and a lot of people have to fly.
Next year.
You have to.
I was supposed to go this year.
Did you?
And then a lot of different things happened where I couldn't.
Yeah.
But I wanted to go this year.
Oh, you should.
Yeah.
And so I just got a notification that it is in Fort Lauderdale
No
next
way.
year. So it's not in Dallas this year.
Oh, man.
Or next year.
Next year.
But I'm just like, you don't have to tell
It's a
me
write-off.
twice.
It's a write-off.
Yes, exactly. That's the best part about being a
Yes.
business owner.
I'm like, I always tell people it's a write-off.
Yeah.
But don't tell me everything's a write-off. But there's a lot of things
Right.
like this. Yes, it's a write-off.
Yes.
So it's so awesome. Oh, that's awesome. Well, I'm so excited. I cannot wait to see everything else that you continue to do.
Thank you.
And I'm, like I said, I've been very excited to have you on. So I'm so glad that you said yes.
Yay.
I swear, guys, I bugged her so much. And I knew she was busy. And then finally I was like, I'll just wait a little. But I know, like, I have kids too.
Yeah.
So I know the kids get sick. And I know, like, it's a lot of business, running a business, man.
Oh my
running
gosh.
a business.
Well, and it's like every time my phone rings, like it's an actual phone call during the salon, like my heart drops because I'm like, oh my gosh, it's the school nurse.
Yeah.
I know somebody like has a fever or like an earache or something that I have to go pick them up. And
you're like, but I have somebody in foils. I can't do that.
And
Right?
it's so funny because like this past summer, I felt like me and the nurse were besties because I had a child who could not get rid of strep.
Oh, man.
And she had an allergic reaction to amoxicillin, and it was just it was ongoing all month long. But she would call me up and she'd be like, Miss Whitaker, there's more fever, and I'd just be like, okay, well, you know what I'm doing, right? And she's like, I know you have chemicals on somebody. I'll see you like whenever I can see you.
Oh my gosh.
And so they'll keep them in the office or something like that. But yeah, I mean that's the tough that's the tough thing about being a hairstylist. But it is nice because I'm able to move clients and certain things like that. When it's like, if I was working a corporate job, maybe that wouldn't
be able to. Yeah.
So
what are some tips that you could give to some new stylists that are coming out of beauty school?
So basically start trying to get clientele now. Clientele is your lifeblood. And, I think a lot of times people are coming out of these schools and they want to be Instagram famous and they just, think that they can just get into a high-end salon and then they'll just be showered with clients because of the name. And it's not the case. So, start hustling now, start figuring out what clientele you actually want because, you can cast out a broad net, but when I started kind of going a little bit more into like low maintenance hairstyle and then gray blending, that was when I would tell people, hey, I'm looking for more of you. Do you have any friends? And then that's when I was able to start building without as much effort. Still a lot of effort, but not as much.
Yeah.
And so that is a big thing, is just clientele. And social media is your best friend. So one of the tips that I always tell my apprentice is what you want to do is don't stray away from Facebook.
Yeah.
Facebook is old news. It's all about TikTok. It's all about Instagram. But Facebook is still a little bit more connection than posting and then having comments. And so I always say get a Facebook and find the groups that your clients are in. For me, when I got here, it was mom groups.
Me too. That's how I grew my clientele.
Yep.
I offered free services at one point when I first started because I had no one.
Yes.
I was like, I'll do a giveaway.
Yes.
Let me pamper a mom.
Yes.
Do you know how many followings?
Yes.
Man.
And there's nothing more chatty Cathy's than the mom groups. So basically So I started working at Lifetime Salon. So it's actually an athletic club, but then there's a high-end salon like attached to it. And I kind of got recruited. So it was during the pandemic. It was really cute. Like one of the managers, because I was there all the time because they have daycare.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I need just a couple hours, just a couple hours by myself. And so
I love my kids, but please take them.
Yes. So I was there literally, every single day for at least 3 hours. And because you would have like 2.5 hours, 3 hours for daycare, and then I would run on the treadmill for maybe a half hour, and then like the 2.5 hours I'd be in like
the sauna.
like, yes, and like just chilling. I'm like, oh my gosh, this alone time is amazing. But people always saw me around, and of course I have these cute little identical twin girls, and then like this little boy, and so we're kind of, and they're very loud, just like me. So we're kind of a scene, when we go in there. And so one of the managers came over and offered me a free massage. They were like, oh my gosh, we know you work really hard, yada, yada, yada. Like, here's a free massage on us. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so sweet. So I saw her in the, because I never had been in the salon at all. I saw her in the dressing room, and I started thanking her for that. And I was like, I'm a hairstylist. I didn't even realize that there was a hair salon here. And the person, there was like vanities kind of meeting up together, and on the other side of the vanity was the salon manager. She came over and she started asking me questions. She found out that I used to be a Wella educator, and she was just like, oh my gosh, we need you in the salon. And up until this point, I was just like, I don't know if I want to be in a gym salon. Like, it's just, and also like,
you're like, do I get free daycare? I'm just kidding.
Well, and so I asked her a couple questions. I asked her, now is it only members? And she said, no, you can bring anybody in. I was like, okay, plus, right? And then I was like, can the non-members use the daycare? Yeah. And she said, yes.
No fucking way.
And so within 3 months, I was fully booked because I went on moms groups and I said, when's the last time you got your hair cut? When's the last time you got pampered? Because everybody's like either having to pay a babysitter, or they're having to bug their husband, or they're having to, whatever it is. And I'm like, you do not have to be a member, and I can offer you free daycare. I will cut your hair within an hour, and you have 2 hours for free.
Oh my gosh.
And so a couple people bit on that. And then once people realized that, because I think people were just like, you can buzz off my hair. I'm totally up for that. Like, I care less if it was a good haircut. But once they started seeing that I actually was good, that's when I just started blowing up like crazy.
That's awesome. Oh my gosh. When I was in beauty school, my dream salon was to have a salon that had a daycare. And like, that was it. Like, I remember thinking in my head, imagine they come in, drop off their kids at the daycare. I have the beauty salon area, then like the spa area, like all these like huge ass dreams. But because the daycare alone, man.
It was awesome. And I mean, it was bonkers how fast I grew on that. And what, again, another tip for the hairstylists, the new hairstylists out there is so always use wherever you're at as an opportunity. So whenever, as I was building my clientele, and, we were at the athletic club and it's attached to that. So on a Saturday, if I wasn't booked, I would still come in. Yeah. And I wasn't just sitting around for that. I would literally like set up a little tray, and I'd put like all the like little, products on it, a blow dryer, a curler. And then I would wheel that with like a little stool over into the locker room, and I would harass people going into the shower. I said, hey, I know you're going into the shower. If you want a free blowout, I'm happy to do it over here. And they're like, oh, okay. And then I started having a line.
No way.
Yes. And then I would have a little stack of cards, and it would have, like free blowout, because I'm a big person, like, don't discount your services. Yes. Never discount your services. Offer free services. Yes. But don't, because nobody expects free again. No. People will always like expect discount again, right? So I would offer, like, the card would be, my name, and then it would say free blowout with Amy Whitaker. And then by the time they would come into the salon and be like, you know what, this is absolutely free. Do you want to get a treatment? It's only $25, and you get soft, beautiful, healthy hair and a blowout for only $25. And they're like, heck yeah, let's do it. So, and then that would turn into a client. So it's just whatever you have as an opportunity, take it. And that's how I always build. Yeah. Like, just because
you're not putting money out on a blowout, you're not a heat protectant.
Yeah. And as long as you get them in the chair, you can razzle dazzle them, and then they'll come back. Just pre-book them. But that was how I built. But you don't have to have free daycare. If you are a Vivids person and you have tattoos, like, find local tattoo groups on Facebook and advertise through there, and like do some kind of, like, get however many dollars off your like for how much tattoos you have or something like that, where it makes it fun.
Make it fun.
And then you'll get 1, maybe 2 people that bite on that because everybody's up for a discount or a free service. But then it's that opportunity to have that person come in and then you talk to them.
Wow them.
And I usually will do like, hey, if you put in an honest review and print that out for me, I'll give you, a free treatment or something the next time you come in. And the one smart thing about that is that if they're wanting a discount and coming back in, they like you.
Yeah.
But then if they're printing it out and showing it to you, they're going to freaking say amazing things about you.
Because they love you.
Exactly. So what was happening, because, a lot of times you can advertise in these groups and you can be like, hey, I'm the best hairstylist ever. But like everybody says that, right?
Yeah.
So when it's an honest review in moms groups, tattoo groups, whatever group that you're wanting to kind of tap into, those are what...
Those sell out more.
Yes, that's when you have people in your DMs. It's like, hey, I saw that you were, da-da-da. And then I always, always, always have a number for the person, and I will send them their before, and I will send them their after picture. So whenever they want to post about me...
You're like, here you go.
They have the, they don't have to do, the weird selfie in the bathroom mirror and, the lighting's off and stuff like that. They can actually show my work, how I want to present it.
Dang.
And then that's how
That's a huge tip, guys.
Yeah.
That is, because it's true. It's like they're showing that mirror selfie and it's like, bro, that doesn't even look good.
Yes. And because freaking bathroom selfies are the worst because it's always yellow.
Yes.
But I do small editing on my picture, like the whole no filter I think is ridiculous.
Yeah.
There's a lot of times where I will take a picture of something and it will not look like what it is in person.
And that's
so
the
I
sad
will
part, because you have to make the phones has some weird glare sometimes or a weird tint.
Yes.
That's not what you see in
so
real life.
I will do light editing. I won't do anything that will change the hairstyle or the color or whatever, but I will edit it to make it, curated for that client and for my Instagram.
Yeah.
But that is a huge, huge thing of make your clients be your workers.
Yeah.
And
I'm sure when they look at your hair too, your hair is fucking amazing.
That's another tip too.
Girl,
thank you.
This is all your hair.
This is all my hair. And I have very, very curly hair, and you've seen it curly.
Yeah, I've seen it curly.
But that is another thing too. Stop going and you can look like you want to, I look like a hot mess now when I'm going out, grocery shopping with my kids. But when I'm building my clientele, I am always walking out looking to the nines because you want somebody to compliment your hair.
Yeah.
Because anytime anybody's like, oh my gosh, I love your hair. You're like, I'm a hairstylist. Here's my card. And that's because, one of the assistants that I had, one of the big things that I was having problems with is that she wasn't coming in. It's presentable. Thank you. Making an effort because you can see me I'm in a crop top and leggings and but I don't need anything professional.
No,
I just need something trendy, making an effort.
You have your chains, your hair is flowy and very cute.
Right, just kind of making it yourself because I don't want many clones or anything like that. I need because
show me your style.
And you want your client to see you and be like, damn, she's cool. I really want to get my hair cut by her.
Yeah.
And that was something that I've noticed with new stylists too. They were coming to interviews with dirty t-shirts and the hair undone and no makeup on. And it's just I don't want to be that person that's why don't you do your makeup more often?
Come on.
But at the same time, it's we are the beauty industry.
Yeah.
We are presenting
the way that you look is what's selling your product.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and that's another thing that I think, because the homeless chic, the sweatpants and kind of the rocker kind of thing. Okay, that is totally in. But put some makeup on or smooth out your hair just a little bit.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
You don't want
Yeah.
So me, when it's podcast time or I have meetings with clients, my hair is done. Mm-hmm. Because I want to look presentable. I want to, but if I'm at home and my my meetings are going to be over the phone. Oh, my hair is up in a bun.
Oh my gosh, hairstylists, we are such hot messes. Like
if you
on
see me
the
in
weekend,
the streets, you will not recognize me.
Nope. And it's funny because like I always call it like my Sunday wear, where it's like I literally have like a gross old t-shirt on. I have like my big fat like fugly slides on, and my hair's like in like a total mess where it's like all the flyaways, and I'm just like, this is me.
This is me, yeah.
But I would never go to work like that.
Of course,
yes,
yeah. That's awesome. No, it's true. It's like, I think there is no I've seen the memes. There is no in the middle. I either look homeless or super trendy. There is no in between.
There is no in between. Like the joke of like you're either walking out from Vogue or you're Adam Sandler. Like there's no in between.
There's in between that.
Yes.
It's so funny. And even Adam Sandler still looks like Adam Sandler on any award show. Like
I know,
have you seen that shit?
But like, I'm sorry, but when you're a freaking bajillionaire, like you can totally, exactly.
Yeah,
and that's the thing is that there's plenty of people who are in solo right now that like maybe don't dress up as much but they have a good clientele because they built that.
Exactly.
Right. And so when you have a full clientele and everybody knows your talent, great. But when you're building a clientele, that's not an option.
Because your clients already know you. So they know that today I'm having an off day. Like, this is what you get. But that's because they've already seen you at your best.
Yes.
Now, your clients, but when you're building, girl, you better get your shit together.
Yeah, you gotta look like you're charging $200 for a cut.
Exactly, because if you're coming in here looking homeless and you have no clients, I'm not gonna book with you.
Yeah,
and that's in any industry. I feel like like look good for what you're offering.
Yes, absolutely. And that's the thing is that's like, some people do wear all black and then like the suit jacket and, are dressed to the nines about like certain things, and they wear designer stuff because they want that to attract to the client. And
I'd be so mad if I got bleach on all on my stuff like that, Like if
like oh yeah.
No.
Yeah, it's so funny because like I hate wearing sorry, I bumped the mic. I hate wearing the like aprons because it like hides my outfit.
Yes.
But like, trust me, this was like a 4-pack T-shirt on Amazon.
Yeah,
and then like,
and it's super cute. She looks super cute, guys. You do like I think you accessorized. I can't even freaking accessorized it really good with your chains and everything. You look cute.
Thank you. And that's the thing is that you can dress up anything with like some jewelry and like making sure that your makeup's right or whatever. But then like what's funny is that like people are always like, it's high-end product when it bleaches because it's like natural. And I'm just like, I want that polyester shit. Like I want stuff made out of plastic because if I get bleach on it, I can just wipe it off. Like
and you'll be okay.
What I have on right now is like Spanx. And it's like I think 80% polyester and like 20%
like the bleach
spandex.
is not going to do shit.
Nope. Like there's been times where it's like I've gotten like a big stripe of bleach on there and like people are like, oh my God. I'm like, it's not a problem. It's fake.
It's Amazon. You're like, it's Amazon.
Exactly.
Yeah. Because I mean, I would never props to all those who do.
Yeah.
But I could never. There's no way that I could. It's not even that I'm a messy, bleacher, but every once in a while you get so excited and it's like, boom. So
or like somebody like there's you touch the tray and then your butt like does the tray because I get butt marks all the time. So
but
permanent marker that is another tip. I always have a permanent marker on me. And most of the time I wear black.
You're
so.
Like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Of course.
And again, remind us where we could find you.
So you can find me at Hair by Amy W. Basically on all platforms.
Yes, and follow that TikTok because she's blowing up, guys. Yes. And stay tuned for those educational classes because they're coming. So again, thank you so much, and y'all could find me at Beauty Pro Bookkeeping and the Beauty Bound podcast on Beauty Bound TX on all platforms. So please like and share, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.